Hello. Thank you for joining us once again for our Librarian Book Club book picks. I'm Annie Phillips. I work at the Downtown Library. I have with me Lady Smith, who is our Snail on the Wall local independent bookseller, and we love her. And also, I'm going to shift the screen. I have Amanda Campbell with me, also at the Downtown Library. And we are all going to talk about our November picks that we're excited about coming up. As always, there's too many to really choose from, but we have to make the difficult decisions. So, and we have a mix of fiction and nonfiction that we're excited to tell you about. So we are starting, we're doing a little different. If you've watched us before, we're not going to talk about all 5 of the books. We're each going to talk about our top 2, and then we have our others just listed. So you can take a look and check them out later on. I was telling Amanda that after I picked my top 2 plus the monthly pick that's coming at the end, I did not do this consciously, but I realized all 3 of my books are about the pandemic, which is really weird. And I just picked them because they were good stories, and then had that oh my gosh, this is a little creepy. So anyway, the first one looks fascinating. It's got a beautiful cover. It's called Burnt Coat by Sarah Hall. It's set in England, in an unnamed British city where the virus is spreading. And a sculptor named Edith retreats inside, isolates herself in her immense studio called Burnt Coat with Halit, who is a lover that she barely knows. And all of a sudden they're thrust together. Life's changing outside as that happens. Of course, Edith and Halit also change with the histories and responsibilities each carries and bears by the fears and dangers of the outside world. And Burnt Coat will be transformed too into a new and feverish world. It's called a sharp and stunning novel of art and ambition, mortality and connection. I am thrilled to pick this up and can't wait for it to come out. It comes out November 2nd. The other one that I will mention is Our Country Friends by Gary Steingard. This comes out also on the 2nd. And this is starts in March 2020, and a group of friends and friends of friends decide to form a pandemic pod in a upstate New York country house. And it sounds just very intriguing, as you know, when you throw different people together and how well or not well that's going to go. A Russian-born novelist, his Russian-born psychiatrist wife, their precocious child obsessed with K-pop, a struggling Indian-American writer, a wildly successful Korean-American app developer, a global dandy with 3 passports, a young flamethrower of an essayist, originally from the Carolinas, and a movie star, the actor in capitals, whose arrival upsets the equilibrium of this chosen family. I've got that one on hold, and I'm very excited about it. So, and you'll see my 3 other picks that also sound amazing, and those are also coming out in November. And I am going to turn the screen now to Amanda so she can tell us about hers.
All right, thank you. Okay, so today I have...
Sorry, forgot to switch the slides.
All right, so the 2 I'm going to talk about, we have a real highbrow, lowbrow situation going on today that I'm excited about. This first one is 1,000 Years of Joys and Sorrows by Weiwei. This is a widely anticipated memoir from the great artist and activist. And don't you just love that cover? And Weiwei designed the cover himself, so it's fantastic. It tells a century-long epic tale of China through the story of his own extraordinary life and also the legacy of his father, I Ching, who was the nation's most celebrated poet. So his father was initially embraced by Mao Zedong, but then he was branded as a rightist during the Cultural Revolution, and he and his family were banished to Little Siberia, where his father, I Ching, was sentenced to hard labor. So in this memoir, He talks about his childhood in exile and then the decision to leave his family to study art in America. And once in America, he befriends Allen Ginsberg, and he's inspired by Andy Warhol. And he talks about his return to China and his rise in popularity as both an artist and a human rights activist, and also kind of how his work has been shaped by living under a totalitarian regime. So this book it's pretty lengthy. I have a copy here, which is awesome. Well, you can see the title yourself. It's a blend of panoramic history and intimate personal story, and it has line drawings throughout the book. Some of them are even brand new. So it's a very exciting, wildly sweeping book blending history, politics, and personal story that's going to be just wonderful. The next one is called Tacky, Love Letters to the Worst Culture We Have to Offer by Rax King. As soon as I saw this, I knew I had to talk about it. This is an irreverent and charming debut essay collection about the joys of low pop culture and bad taste, exploring coming of age in the 2000s in the age of Hot Topic, Creed, and frosted lip gloss. And the author has a column in Catapult called Store Bought is Fine. Great title, love it. So each essay revolves around a different tacky cultural artifact, and she approaches them with thoughtful, romantic meditations on desire, love, and the power of nostalgia. So there's an essay about Jersey Shore that turns into an exploration of grief over losing her father. There's another one about America's Next Top Model, where she writes about friendship in early 2000s and girlhood. So of these 14 essays in the collection, 2 have been published previously. So if you want to just check her out and see if you like her writing style, one of them called Love, Peace, and Taco Grease was published in her Catapult column, Store Bought is Fine. And that one was actually nominated for a James Beard Award. And in that one, Guy Fieri helps her heal from an abusive relationship. There's also another one called It's Time to Let Meatloaf Into Your Embarrassing Little Heart. And you can find that in Electric Literature. So check those out. You can also see my 3 other nonfiction choices for November. They're going to be fantastic as well. Thank you.
Hey, Amanda, thanks. And when I saw that Tacky as well, that went on my Goodreads list immediately. So yeah, excited about all of these. And next we are with Lady and her picks.
I'm glad to be here today, and it's good to be talking about November books. And also one of mine is looking ahead to Christmas. So we're getting to that point of the year. Both of my main picks they read a little bit like classics. So the first one is Sarah Winman, Still Life. And this one is, it is set partly around World War II. It starts out in Tuscany in 1944, but I don't want to pigeonhole this as a World War II novel, because I know a lot of people feel like we have so many of those. This is beautifully written. It spans decades. It's an homage to Italy. There's a lot of it that's set in Tuscany, and then the main character goes back home to London, but then it takes place in Florence too. So it spans decades, and it's about art, and it also kind of references Ian Forster, who is one of my favorite writers, in A Room with a View. So there's a lot about history and art, and this main character, who's a young English soldier named Ulysses, it starts out, he finds himself in Tuscany in a wine cellar, and he has an encounter with an art historian who's come to Italy to salvage some paintings from ruins. And so when he comes back home to London, he, begins to think about things. He comes into an inheritance, and then he reconnects with her. So this is just a beautiful, look at that gorgeous cover. You could just tell this is a beautiful novel. I haven't read it yet, but I can't wait to read it. So that's going to be a big hit. And then my other one that I'll talk about today is called Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan. This releases November 30th, so just in time for Christmas. It's a slim little, really like a novella. And Claire Keegan is known for her short stories. She's won many prizes. She's an Irish writer. And this one is, it really is kind of a Christmas story, but it reminds me of The Dead, James Joyce. This is, I keep bringing up classics today, but it really, it's very meditative, and it's kind of serious, but it's set at Christmas time in Ireland. It's already a bestseller in the UK, and it's releasing here. I sat down with it on a Sunday afternoon, and in less than 2 hours, I was finished and I couldn't stop. It's about a coal worker named Bill Furlong, who is a family man. He's married with 5 daughters, and he's just going through life every day, trying to make ends meet. And he delivers coal to a convent in this small Irish community. And he discovers that some girls there, young unwed mothers who have been taken there because they've been turned out by their families in this Catholic community, he discovers they're being abused. And it becomes a tale of what should he do? Should he turn a blind eye, which is what a lot of people think that, because they've been doing that, or should he think of his own daughters and stand up for them? And so it's just beautifully written. So I'm excited about this. So many people are excited that it's finally releasing in the United States. So, and then you can see my other 3 picks there. And I'll just say, Brene Brown, Atlas of the Heart, we have a virtual event with her December 2nd. And it will be, we're about to release details, and it will be buy a book and you can attend the event. So we will have those books ready for delivery and shipping. And we would love for you to come online and hear Brene. She's always great.
Thank you so much, lady. And I was laughing because Amanda was doing a happy dance off camera. So,
so excited.
We're excited. And we were talking the other day. I was like, oh, have you seen Wine Country, with Amy Poehler? And have you seen that lady where Brene Brown makes the cameo? And there's,
yes.
So that's very exciting.
She's so great because she can talk seriously, but she's funny and warm. And she just feels like her,
Yeah, that's the best kind of person. So that sounds like it'll be awesome. Thanks for telling us about it and all your other wonderful picks. And that Sarah Winman, I saw that cover and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to have that for my coffee table because it's so beautiful. So, and sounds like an amazing book. All right, well, this will bring us to the last part, which is, and my screen's doing that thing where it doesn't want to go to the next slide right away. So it will get there, I'm sure. So I'll go ahead and start telling you about that. That's our pick we do every month to just kind of say, hey, this will be a really cool book to read. This is The Sentence by Louise Erdrich. And she is a multiple award-winning writer. She's a Native American writer. This one completes the trifecta of the pandemic books I was talking about. And this just sounds fascinating. And I'm going to try and click again. Nope. Okay. So it asks what we owe to the living, the dead, to the reader, and to the book. And so it starts on All Saints Day, which is November 1st in 2019 in Minneapolis. It's a bookstore. It is haunted from that day in 2019 to the following year in 2020. The store's most annoying customer, Flora, dies on All Souls Day. Sorry, there's All Saints and All Souls. But she won't leave the store. And the main character, Tuki, has landed a job selling books there after years of incarceration, which she survived only by reading with murderous attention. She has to solve the mystery of this haunting of the annoying bookstore patron while trying to understand all that occurs in Minneapolis during this year, as we know, like with the killing of George Floyd in May of 2020. And it just sounds like such a rich, wonderful story. And I am very excited to read this. And the new library reads were just announced today for November. That's the nationwide where all the librarians put in their picks, and the sentence was one of those picks. So I'm sorry my slide is not coming up, but just look up the sentence, and it comes out on November 9th. So coming up soon.
Very few signed copies, but we're going to have a few signed copies.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you for letting us know. So yes, get a signed copy from Lady. And you can go to Snail on the Wall. She's on Instagram and Facebook and her website. So lots of ways to get there and start your holiday shopping.
Yes, we're putting our book bundles together, and we're taking orders throughout November. Yes.
Awesome. Great. So yeah, get on that with your holiday buying. Well, thank you everyone for joining me. I'm going to pivot to Amanda real quick so she can also.
Thank you.
We always enjoy this, and thank you, Lady. And stay tuned. We will have December coming soon enough. So we'll see you next month. Oh, there it is. Yay. You can see that lovely, and our graphic designer here, Ari, did the cute little ghosts in the background. She always does very clever things with that. So yes, the sentence and art in itself there. All right. Well, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your month and happy reading.